that talking about the White House card and how he wasn't offered $8 over $15 million and how he felt the fight was worth more. So I just wanted to get your response to that, essentially.
Jon Jones tweeted that he was offered not $1 more than...
Jon Jones was never fighting on the White House card. How many times I gotta say this? He was never fighting on the White House card. I literally have done two press conferences talking about this. These guys went out, found everything that they thought was available and possible, and then I picked the fights. There's no way in hell I was putting him on the card, no matter what the money was. Jon Jones was never gonna fight on the White House card.
It's not quite the roller coaster of emotions that is the state of Jon Jones's career, because earlier in the week, he was doing a video with Red Corner, and he said he was done. He said his gloves are hung up. In case you missed it, here it is.
My gloves are hung up.
There it is.
I'm chilling these days. You got business Jon Jones. No more fighter Jon Jones. The businessman. You know what I'm saying?
Dana White was then asked about Jon, and in this video, you'll get Dana's reaction being in attendance, and also Jon then saying his gloves aren't hung up. Take a look.
Says that watching UFC 327 lit a fire in him to compete, and now he's potentially not retired. He's not committing to it.
Yeah, you know, I'm not sure if I'm retired or not. I'm just taking it day by day, just trying to kind of figure out my body and how I feel and things like that. I tell you what, being here at the UFC right now definitely has given me this fire that I haven't felt in a little bit. So it feels very good to be here.
Have you talked to him at all about anything, or no?
No. And listen, how is that any different than Jon's been in the last 10 years? You know what I mean? The way I always looked at, I used to tell Lorenzo, you'll never be able to build a business with this guy. But when he does show up, it's fun.
Yeah, I don't know about that line. I mean, they made a lot of money and have built big cards around Jon Jones. Like, they put him in the main event of UFC 200. And I would imagine that was long after, you know, he may have said that because that was long after a bunch of issues. And you remember when we were talking about him fighting on the White House card, and I said, someone needs to ask Jon Jones, is it just the White House card, or do you want to fight? And it seemed like for a moment, it was just the White House card. Like, if it was, hey, if I'm not getting on the White House card, I'm out. Now I feel like he wants one more fight. I feel like he wants one more fight. And it was great to see him there. And I know Hunter Campbell was at his DBX show on Friday in Miami. It was great to see him there at a UFC event, because I feel like it's been a while since we've seen him in attendance. And I think being around Gabe, they may try to do that fight. Does anyone feel otherwise? Like, I feel like he really wants to fight. I feel like he really wants to fight. I feel like he has one more fight left in him. And I think that whatever happened with the, hey, we wanted, you know, you to fight for X amount, and then he wanted X amount, and we took the offer, whatever it is, I feel like he's willing to meet them now. I feel like the hardball games are over. I don't know. I get the sense that he really wants to fight. And I get the sense that there's a strong possibility that he will fight again. In fact, he spoke backstage to the UFC.
Jon Jones just announced his retirement. Then he took it back. And what he said next changes everything for the heavyweight division.
It was an agreement, but it was a much, much different tone than the one that we got a month ago, where he said, release me and I'm done being disrespected, this, that, and the other. Remember that whole tweet storm around the time that I was in LA for that press conference and everyone was being asked about it? Take a look at this and just compare it to what we heard from him or read from him a month ago.
Brazil was really, really cheering for you and like trying to see if you would face Alex Poitin. It's something that we really, really were dreaming about it.
Yeah. You know, I feel like I wanted to be compensated in a way that I wasn't, and we just had a disagreement, and that happens.
Did you catch that whiplash? 1 minute Bones is hanging up the gloves, talking about becoming a businessman. The next minute he's at a UFC event saying he might not be done after all. This is classic Jon Jones mind games.
Talking to the UFC, you know, social media broadcast team, UFC Brazil,
It's just impossible to know where he's at because one week he's saying, like, I'm not fighting. I'll never fight again. Jon Jones, the fighter, is dead. And maybe he's saying that because he was frustrated with not getting the White House and he's still, you know, in his feelings a little bit and angry. And now, like he said, getting around the UFC is like, you know what, maybe I do want to do one more fight. But it's just impossible to say. Guessing it is like trying to guess the weather a month from now.
Right.
I just have no idea whether he's going to fight again or not.
It's also best for business for him to do that, to maintain this kind of like in and out nature of it. You don't know that, much like we were talking about with AJ, right? You're not in control of this. I'm in control of this, and so sometimes I'm in, sometimes I'm out.
But here's where it gets interesting. Dana White's reaction tells us everything we need to know. He's frustrated, but he can't ignore the numbers. Jon Jones equals massive pay-per-view buys, even when he's driving everyone crazy.
He's been wishy-washy, he's flip-flopped, he's done all these things throughout the whole like saga with Tom Aspinall to this point. The one thing he has been extremely consistent with, has never flip-flopped, has never been wishy-washy about, is the name Alex Pereira. It's always been Alex Pereira. He continues to talk about Alex Pereira. It's very obvious to me that he wants to fight Alex Pereira. Maybe he feels like it's a good matchup, maybe he feels like it does the most for his legacy. That's a sign to me. If I'm the UFC, I try to make that fight.
And get this, Jon keeps mentioning one specific name. Alex Pereira. Not Tom Aspinall, not any other heavyweight contender. Just potent. That's not random, that's strategic targeting.
Aspinall.
Yeah. He's Jon Jones.
That's one last FU to Tommy.
He's Jon fucking Jones. I mean...
So what's Tom gonna do?
Tom versus Josh Hokett.
If Tom has a... Tom
versus Gable.
Tom
Jon
versus
versus
Gable.
Alex.
One night only.
Yeah.
All of this planning is while Tom doesn't have a timeline. Once Tom has a timeline, then I think it's like, you know, that takes precedence. But until Tom has a timeline, you just have to
The money drama that killed his last negotiation? Suddenly Jon's singing a different tune. He's talking about understanding the business, moving past old conflicts. That's not the same fighter who demanded to be released last year. Here's the kicker: being around the UFC atmosphere is reigniting that competitive fire. You can see it happening in real time. The retirement talk was either a negotiating tactic or genuine burnout that's already wearing off. But there's something nobody's talking about. This whole back and forth routine, it's actually brilliant marketing. Every flip-flop keeps Jon in the headlines and makes his eventual return feel even bigger. The UFC knows exactly what they're dealing with. Jon Jones is impossible to manage but impossible to ignore. His star power transcends the normal promotional playbook, and that drives Dana absolutely insane. Now listen to this part. Jon's specifically waiting to see if Alex beats Cyril Gane. That's not casual interest, that's a man with a plan. He wants Pereira, and he's willing to wait for the perfect setup. Hold up, did you catch the shift in Jon's negotiation style? The hardball tactics are gone. He's talking collaboration instead of confrontation. That's how you know this comeback is real, not just another publicity stunt. Here's what's really happening. Jon realizes he's got one last mega fight in him, and it has to be worth the hassle. Pereira represents legacy, spectacle, and massive pay-per-view numbers all wrapped into one. The heavyweight division is about to get flipped upside down. Tom Aspinall and other contenders can wait. When Jon Jones decides he wants someone specific, the UFC bends the entire division around making it happen. So there you have it. The retirement was fake, the comeback is real, and Alex Pereira is the target. This isn't just about one more fight, it's about Jon Jones controlling his legacy and cashing out on his terms. Who do you think wins that super fight, and do you think Jon's just ducking the real contenders? Drop your thoughts below, smash that like button if this breakdown opened your eyes, and subscribe because this heavyweight circus is just getting started.